Do you know how to defend yourself in a street fight? Maybe you yourself were a victim of a street fight, or maybe you know somebody that has. It's really important to know how to defend yourself or your family in these type of attacks. Now, in part one of the video, we talked about how to defend against a big haymaker type of attack. This was a big circular strike. Today, in part two, we're talking about how to defend against a straight punch. Here, the attacker is probably a bit more trained. Big straight punch coming towards your face, very dangerous attack, definitely something you need to know how to defend. So let's begin. Hey guys, so I have Eric here with me today. We're showing you how to defend yourself against the big punch that's coming towards your face. So first of all, what are we looking at? We're looking at a very specific attack. It's a straight punch that's coming directly towards your face. Attacker may be a bit more trained because they now know how to throw a relatively good straight punch towards your face, throw whatever the target is. So this type of action or this type of action. Usually attacker is committed to hurting you, so they're really throwing that one big punch, trying to inflict as much damage as possible in the shortest amount of time. That's really their goal. Our goal is to know how to defend against it, and that's what we're teaching you today. So let's again show you one of the variations. We'll spend some time focusing on it, and then we'll show you some other variations as well. Can you do it one more time, Eric? And one more time. So let's look at it a little bit. And the first thing here is let's discuss natural responses. And this is always something we come back to in Krav Maga. Natural responses are the basis of our techniques. These dictate our emotions. And here it's very easy to learn how to defend yourself if you understand what to do, starting with the natural responses you already have. So when the punch is coming, natural response often is something like this. My hands are coming up to start or to stop the attack that's coming towards my face. Now this type of response, although naturally and instinctive, it's not always the best. It's a good start, but it's not the final product. So we need to give it the final product. So what is the idea? The idea is like this. If I hold my hands here, he's going to push through and continue through towards my face. So really, it's not going to stop the attack. But we're taking this type of initial response, and we're turning it into a solution that works. So what are we doing? What I'm trying to do is my closest hand makes contact at the fist of the attacker from the outside. One more time, like this type of motion. As I'm doing so, I'm pressing his arm out of the way, ensuring that it's no longer going towards the original target, but going past it. One more time. This motion. So if he continues this tension, you understand, now it's missing its original target. At the same time, I want to get my head out of the way. So how do I get my head out of the way? Usually kind of away from the punch. So if you think about the punch, I'm pushing in one direction, my head is going in the opposite direction. So my closest or defending shoulder goes forward and down, and the other shoulder goes slightly back. So kind of blading or twisting. Blading is correct, our body. One more time. This action. The defense is happening with the palm. So I'm using the big surface of my palm, fingers separated, to really redirect this punch out of the way. One more time. This motion. Now, what do I need to do? I need to hit back. This is one of the most common principles in Krav Maga. We need to strike back as soon as possible. How do we hit back here? The problem is, at this moment, if I go to strike right away, it's too congested, this area. You understand? My hand is in the way, his fist is in the way, everything is too congested. It's really hard to get your punch in there. So what we do is we delay the punch a little bit to try to improve our position. So what does that mean? So we now move a little bit out of the way, lower his hand a little bit, and now we can punch. So look again. This is the initial action. So I'm pressing it sideways. Now I got to lower his hand a little. We call this latching. So I'll create a hook with my hand, so 5 fingers together, latching on and pulling it down. We don't need to pull it too far down, just a little bit where I can punch over it with my free arm. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Again. 1, 2, 3. Again. As I punch, I'm going to step. Here's where I want to really improve my position. Why do I need to step? Because he still has a free arm, meaning if I just do 1, 2, and he punches at the same time, then I was just exchanging punches. And although it may be effective, I'd rather not take any damage if possible. So what I need to do is get away from this arm. Move to the side of the arm to which I have some level of control, meaning, one more time, 1, 2, and I step. Look where I'm stepping. I'm stepping to the side of the defending arm, to the side of the arm that I'm controlling again. 1, 2. So there's the block, latching, stepping and punching. Punching, stepping happens almost at the same time. Technically, punch is slightly ahead of the step. One more time. And once I'm here, more strikes, finishing the fight with the ultimate goal of getting away and getting to safety. Okay, so this is one option. Now let's look at another instinct, another option that may happen here. Very similar natural behavior, but with a slightly different body posture. So let me explain how this looks. So when you're facing the same exact punch, instead of this response, that response happens. So very slow. So like this motion happens. Your body starts going backwards. Now this is very common. You see this all the time in the street. Person getting punched, you don't know what to do, you lean back, and if you don't know how to catch up and do appropriate actions, person's still going to overpower you because he's not going to stop with one punch. He's going to continue coming. So if you continue coming and I stay my ground, ultimately he's going to find a way through and get me. So my job is not to stay there. So what do? So we take this natural response and turn it into a solution that works. Can we do it? One more time. So what's happening here? And what's happening is like this. As this is the natural response that I'm having, my body's starting to lean back. Now from this position, I want to regain my balance. So how do I regain balance? I take a step. So if I don't take a step, I'm very much arched. My head is too heavy back in the sense I can fall easily. So I want to make sure there's a base under me. So one foot steps back. One more time. This action. As it steps back, now most of my weight is being supported by this base leg. So the free leg can now attack with a kick. So if we think about this action, it's a very instinctive, very kind of a responsive type of a defense where I'm surprised, I move back, I throw a fast kick to the groin. One more time. After the first kick, I immediately create distance. I step back. Now why? There's two ways of looking at it. Reality is maybe the kick landed cleanly and maybe this is a fight finish to a certain degree, but maybe not. I don't know what the extent of the damage is. So if he keeps coming now, I have now space to intercept him and attack further. So really, after the initial defense, I kick and I immediately create distance. And this allows me, one, to establish my fighting position, ability to assess the situation, deal with the attacker if he's returning, or run away if he's out of commission to a certain degree. Thank you. So again, we're looking at this very strong attack. Person is punching straight to the face. Very common in street fights. Different responses. One response more aggressive, so my hands come up. Here I redirect the punch, latch onto it a little bit, step out, throw my own counter, continue fighting. Don't just stop at one punch, continue fighting, getting out when it's safe. The other response is a bit more reflexive or defensive oriented, meaning I'm move back, but there's a certain break in my posture. I want to make sure that I regain composure by stepping, immediately throwing a fast kick towards the groin. Again, we're not limited by any sports fighting rules, so we can attack the groin if possible. Regain distance, and here assess the situation. Is the attacker returning? Fight back. Are they out of commission? Escape. That's the basic principle. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. If you like it, give us a thumbs up. If you want to learn more, go to our online training center. There's a link below. Check it out. There's a lot more information to learn.